Welcome to the morning show with Madison Sings, entering you, Irena Sandler. Give it up for Irena Sandler, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, nice to meet you. Finally, I heard so much about you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Oh, I'm so glad. So, I've heard a lot of stories about you and your amazing journey through the Holocaust. Right? Is that correct?
That is.
Okay, so with all that you went through, how did you keep your spirits high, and where did you get the courage to go through all of this?
Well, my father, you see, he was one of the first Polish socialists, and my parents once told me that if a man is drowning, it is irrelevant of what his religion or nationality, one must help him.
I see. So what were some of the methods you used to smuggle 2,500 children over the Warsaw ghettos? With your small stature of only 4'11".
Yes, I may be small in stature, but some of the ways that we took them out of the ghettos was, for the smaller children, we would carry them out in coffins or in gunny sacks or potatoes, in a bag of potatoes.
Wow.
For the older children, we would take them to Polish Catholic churches where they would be stripped of their Jewish identity and adopted into Polish families.
But what would happen if the kids made noise?
Well, when we took them in ambulances, I would bring my dog along with me, and if a child started to cry, I would step on or pinch the dog's foot to make all the other Nazis' dogs start barking, and they'd let me right through.
Wow. Did you do all this by yourself, or did you have some kind of help from other people?
Actually, I had 25 helpers, 24 women and 1 man.
Yikes. So, for how long were you coming out of the ghettos?
18 months.
How did you hide your identity outside the ghettos, like just walking around? How did you keep...
I had to change my address many times.
Yikes. So, what kind of experiences did you have inside the ghettos?
Well, the Nazis would treat me well because I was legally able to go in there. Since I was a nurse, that I would just go in there and take care of all the children.
Right. On October 20th, 1943, you were found by the Nazis and put in a Prague prison. Is that correct?
Yes.
What did they do to you when they did capture you?
Well, they were trying to break my spirit and get me to tell them where I had hidden all the children and who was helping me by breaking my foot and my leg. But I never let them get that information. And even though I was sentenced to death, I had helpers that made it so I could escape, but they never stopped pursuing me.
Interesting. So what were the emotional feelings you had while you were trying to be inside there, thinking about all the children that were still captured and that didn't do anything wrong?
I don't understand your question.
What did you feel when they took you as a prisoner, and how many children, like the other children, that you could not get?
I felt disappointed because I couldn't be out there to help them, but I knew at some point I'll be able to get out and all those children that I did save would be saved, and at some point they would be returned to their families.
Astonishing. So I understand that you had buried the names of the locations of the Jewish children. Why did you do that?
So that when the war was over and the Holocaust was over, I could find all of the kids that I had hidden and return them to their original families.
Wow. Why didn't you just keep the jars in your houses or in your house?
Because if they found my address, I didn't want them to figure out where all the other children were for the benefit of them.
What information did you write on the paper?
I would write the child's name, their new location.
When you buried the jars of the locations of the Jewish children, did you think you were going to dig them back after the war ended?
Actually, yes, because I stayed positive, and since they were buried at one of my friend's houses, I knew at some point they would be found and the children would be put with their original families.
Well, that's an amazing story, Mrs. Sandler. We have a surprise for you, a well-deserved award for your achievements and what you did during the heroic actions. We had an apple tree planted in honor with the spot of a Holocaust museum. Well, I'd just like to thank you for coming in, and I just want to say how much I appreciate your existence, and have a fabulous night. Give it up for Irena Sandler.